Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizard101 video. Today I decided that I would, do a change of pace. I feel like the last two videos haven't been like the most, well received. Not necessarily for any reason, people just don't click on them as much. So I figured I would go over like a fun little topic today. Fun little thing that I've seen recommended a few times, something I've wanted to do. And that is my top 5 least favorite quest lines in this game. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean, like, these are my least favorite worlds. It doesn't mean that these are my least favorite areas in the game. It just means that there is a specific quest line that I hate for a particular reason that I'm going to get into more as we get into it. So, without further ado, enough rambling, let's actually get into it. Alright, so number 5 on our list is going to be Dragonspire, the Crystal Grove, specifically just the entire area as a quest line. Now, maybe it's because I actually, hate spiders with a passion in video games, or just because I think this area is probably my least favorite street in all of Dragonspire. One of those reasons, for some reason, this quest line just sucks. Like, I really don't enjoy any part of it. Whether it be you freeing this jewel bender person from a crystal, which is actually kind of funny, to actually, killing a bunch of spiders, collecting different crystals, all that, it just was never fun to me. Then you have the, having to walk around all these crystal groves and actually picking up a ton of crystal samples. There's that. It's just not fun. I think this entire questline, this street, for some reason, just drags on much longer than almost any other street in Dragonspire. Now, I'm gonna say, I could say the Labyrinth for this. The Labyrinth was also one I was debating in my head, but I ultimately decided not to say the Labyrinth over this because genuinely, I know the Labyrinth does suck, but I enjoy doing it more than the Crystal Grove because at least in the Labyrinth, it's like mildly engaging. Like, this area is boring. It's not very fun and whatever. And, it's a real shame too, because I genuinely think the Crystal Grove is actually one of the prettier areas in Dragonspire. Like, up here, you have the massive dragon titan. You have these swaths of, crystals, and, it's just really cool looking. And it's a shame, because I feel like the really cool looking appearance really doesn't match the actual questline itself, which is disappointing. But alas, what can you do? So the next quest line is actually also technically an area, but I will say the next 3 are all quest lines specifically and not the entire area's quest line. Crustacean Empire has to be one of my least favorite quest lines in this game. And there's so many reasons for it, whether it be because I think underwater levels are always just the worst levels in literally any game ever, or simply the fact that it's just long and drawn out. One of those options, realistically, it makes sense for the Crustacean Empire. This street and this questline is the longest in all of Celestia. It's probably I would say a sixth of the total Celestia questline is just Crustacean Empire. This street takes an hour, even if you're boosting yourself up with a max wizard, and there's a few reasons for it. First off, there is a lot of walking between this guy over here on this giant crab and this guy all the way back here in a Senate building. There's a lot of walking there, and it's actually ridiculous. It's like the longest walk in the entire game, and the teleporters really don't help you all that much. You can go from here to here, but that doesn't help you go all the way to the guy back here. And then there's actually you having to help the pirates, and you still need to walk a lot. The map is deceptively small, I would say. This street is actually ridiculously large, and it overall just makes the questline feel way longer than it has to and way more drawn out. And then that's not to mention the end where you're tracking down Praetor Mako, who for some reason is the only character in this game with an oval for their character thing on the map. You're hunting him down, and it's oh, he's not here. Oh, he's not here either. And you go through that process for 1,000 in-game steps. It's just not very fun. Overall, this questline, I could have put it a bit higher. I'm really just going in order by worlds. This is probably one of my least favorite questlines in this entire game, and I don't think that will ever change. The only thing they could do that would make it better, in my opinion, is move the teleporter in the Senate to right here, and move the teleporter over in the Barbican here, over here into the pirate area. Overall, I think that would just make this questline much more bearable. Alright, next on our list is going to be one in Azteca. Now, this one probably shouldn't come as a surprise to you guys. I've said this a few times in why I hate Azteca. I think that there is very specifically one quest line that angers me more than anything, and this is a quest line, by the way, is specifically right after you finish Salt Meadow Swamp and on the way to going to Sultan Dock. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there is about a 30 quest portion of Azteca that for some reason you need to go through before you actually get to Sultan Dock, and I think it could be very much cut down. And specifically what I'm talking about is there's the thing where you have to help the king and find the traitor, I believe. That's part of that, which admittedly isn't too bad, but what's the most egregious thing is you need to build the boat to the Sultan Dock. Now, the problem with building the boat to the Sultan Dock is you need to kill, I believe it is 5 bosses, like a Street Fighter 2, and then there's like 20 talking quests, all to build this one raft. And it angers me beyond belief because it grinds Azteca's story to a halt, a complete halt, because it was moving forward, you were going through the streets, and then all of a sudden, oh wait, you need to do a 30 quest thing to just build a small little raft boat thing. And it just, it really bothers me. I think it is the quest line I probably get worked up the most about in this entire game, and I think it's simply because it makes Azteca go from like a maybe a C tier world for me just to going to like an F tier, just because it makes it take that much longer. And I would like to say those 30 quests take like an hour or two because there's a ton of bosses. Really, there's a lot of walking. It's just not fun. Overall, I would say that that's what I have to say to that. You thought we were done with Azteca, but no, there's actually a second quest line in Azteca that is my least favorite in this game, and that is the quest line specifically where you are challenging the boss at the end of this street, Tierra de Brea. Chipacactly. I don't know. However you say his name. I'm going to call him Cactus for the sake of simplicity. Cactus over here, right? You need to fight him to move on to the Pitch Black Lake, right? And you ask Zen 7-star, who is, again, my least favorite character in this entire game. You ask her, hey, how do we challenge let's go challenge this guy. And she's like, okay, you need to bait him out with some frogs. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess I can do that, or I could just storm into these caves one by one and find him. But she's like, no, you can't do that. So you need to place the frogs in front of his cave. Eventually, he does it, which means it signifies that he took the challenge. Okay. And you're like, okay, let's go beat him now. And what does Zen 7-star say? No, you can't do that. That's egregious. That's against our morals. You need to do this long, drawn-out process of challenging this guy before you can actually do it. That will take about 10-15 quests, making the street double the length of what it should be. And I'm like, fuck you. I hate Zen 7-star so much. Like this one quest line made her go from like an annoying character to I wish that she died when we stabbed her with that knife to remove the poison. Like legitimately, it makes me angry beyond belief. And then we go from Tierra de Brea, like not a good street, especially with that quest line, to Pitch Black Lake, which is just an even worse street, and it just is really sad, honestly. And it's one of my least favorite quest lines in this game, without a doubt. So finally, let's move on to the last quest line of this video. I would be absolutely wrong if I didn't include at least one quest line from Chrysalis in this video. So ultimately, it fell to what I consider to be just the absolute worst quest line in Chrysalis, and that is specifically after you get out of Moon Cliffs, right? Like I think you save the queen. You might not actually save the queen yet, but basically you get to the last wood and you kind of like do the thing where you blow up the gate. And once you get here, you get to what I consider to be just the most agonizing process in this game, and that is defeating and collecting 3 things from these flame legs. Now you may be like, Noah, what's the problem? I actually got really lucky this realm. You can see this realm is probably the luckiest you can ever get with this. The problem is that the flame legs move very fast. The blood hornets move very slow, and the drag rate in this area, like the drag consistency, is so bad. Blood hornets will get into your fight 90% of the time and make fighting it in like collecting it in one fight almost impossible, not to mention the fact that the drop rate is actually pretty low. I have had times where this has taken me like 5 to 10 battles to collect all the things from the flame legs before I can move on with my quest. And you know what the kicker is? You know what the best part about this is? It's not even the last time you have to do it. You need to fight the flame legs and collect 3 things again later on in the same quest line. Like, I have never wanted to go to King's Isle headquarters and like backhand them more. Sorry if there's a King's Isle dev watching this. I promise I won't backhand you. But please, for the love of all things King's Isle, stop doing this to me. Please, please, make the enemies have separate areas in this game. There is nothing that I hate more than when they put 2 enemies in the same walk path that have different speeds and that I only need to beat one of. Because it is the most painful experience to get both, like, get all of the right one in the fight, and I will never not hate it. So that really wraps up this this video, this rant. I'm thinking I'm gonna do my top 5 favorite quest lines probably in a next video, so let me know if you are excited for that. What are your least favorite quest lines in this game? Because I am very curious. There's definitely some like honorable mentions I can do, like, you know, the new Wizard City, Cyclops Lane, or Firecat Alley. Potentially like something maybe in something else in Dragonspire, something in Imperia. I could probably go for a few of those, but ultimately the ones I decided on here are my least favorite without a doubt. Really, there's no contest. So let me know what you think in the comments below. What are your least favorite quest lines? I'm excited to know. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next video. Adios.